Welcome to Breast is Best, the video series where you and I discuss health issues related to breastfeeding. Today's topic, jaundice of the newborn. And today's health challenge, flat nipples. Stay tuned and we'll talk about what jaundice is and how breastfeeding, even with flat nipples, can be a treatment option for your infant. Make sure you listen carefully, there will be a quiz at the end. So let's dive right into it. Jaundice. Jaundice is also called hyperbilirubinemia. That's a big word. Let's break it down. Hyper. Hyper is an excess or too much. Bilirubin. Bilirubin is a byproduct of red blood cells breaking down. This is a natural process that occurs in infants and adults. Anemia. Anemia is a condition of the blood. So, hyperbilirubinemia is a condition where there is too much bilirubin in the blood. Infants are especially prone to developing jaundice due to the immature organ systems that don't allow them to excrete the bilirubin from their system in the way that adults do. Infants do their best to excrete it through their urine and through their stool, but when it builds up too much, it begins to show in the skin, causing a yellow color. Oh, our first caller. Let's see what they have to say. Hello, caller. How can I help?
Hi, Ashley. I'm just wondering what the big deal about jaundice is. Won't it go away on its own?
Great question, caller. Some infants do effectively excrete the excess bilirubin from their system on their own. This is assisted through frequent breastfeeding, allowing them to eliminate it in their urine and their stool. Other infants have higher levels of red blood cells in their system, creating more bilirubin. This can occur if there was delayed cord clamping at birth, or any kind of bruising or injury at birth that would cause excess red blood cells in their system. This is okay, they just need to be watched more carefully for signs of jaundice. Let's talk about what those signs are. Look for a yellowing of the skin. To do this, look at your infant in natural light. Then, press on their skin to blanch it. It should appear white, just as it would if you pinched your fingernail. You try it. If the skin appears more yellow than white, your infant may be jaundice. Next, look in your infant's eyes. The white of their eyes should be white. If they're yellow, your infant may be jaundiced. And a late sign of jaundice is lethargy of the newborn. This means that your newborn is very, very sleepy. It's normal for an infant to sleep a lot, but your infant should wake every 2 to 3 hours to feed, at least 8 times in 24 hours. If your infant is not waking to feed or is difficult to wake, this may be caused by jaundice. All of these signs are indications to have your infant screened for jaundice. Slight jaundice of the newborn is normal in the first few days, but jaundice that worsens or does not resolve can become severe and cause damage to the brain. For this reason, it's important to screen jaundice early and initiate treatment early. Remember that early and often breastfeeding is a great way to prevent and treat jaundice of the newborn. Another reason why breast is best. Now let's take a short field trip to a local nursery where we can talk more about breastfeeding and how to address the challenge of flat nipples. See you there. Welcome to my local nursery, where we have access to some props to help us with teaching. Now that you know all about jaundice, we know that our priority in treating jaundice is frequent, effective feeding. Breastfeeding is our method of choice. After all, breast is best. But what if you're faced with the challenge of flat nipples? First of all, you need to know that flat nipples are not your fault. It's simply the way that you're made. And we have some quick tips and tricks to help establish an effective latch so your infant can breastfeed. Let's have a look at our mannequin. A flat nipple is flat to the skin and can be difficult for the infant to latch onto to feed. In order to create a more effective latch, we need to somehow allow the nipple to stand out from the skin, allowing the infant to latch. There's 3 ways that we can do this. The first is nipple stimulation. Simply playing with the nipples or rolling the nipples between your fingers allows them to stand out, much as they would if it was cold outside. This may be enough for your infant to latch on effectively. If not, the first trick I have is called a nipple shield. A nipple shield is a small silicone shield that effectively pulls the nipple outward and provides a larger surface area for the infant to latch onto. You can see there's small holes in the end of the shield that allow the infant to still receive milk or colostrum. Let's go back to our demo. To use a nipple shield, you simply turn the nipple shield inside out. Then place the small rounded area over the nipple and flip the nipple shield right side out. The suction of the shield should pull the nipple forward into the shield, much as it has here. You can see how this provides a larger area for the infant to latch onto. After sucking for several minutes, the nipple may begin to pull out, and the nipple shield can then be removed and the infant can be latched back onto the breast. Option number 2, if you have access to a breast pump, pump for several minutes on one breast, allowing the nipple to come into the pump. Then remove the pump and latch the infant. One of these 3 options should be effective in raising the nipple enough for the infant to latch. If not, and milk supply is not established, your infant may need formula in order to supplement, helping to excrete that bilirubin through the urine and the stool. Should your infant need formula, continue to pump with a breast pump. This will help to establish your milk supply as well as provide breast milk for your infant. Sounds like we have another caller. Hello, caller. How can I help?
Hi, Ashley. Thanks for all that information. But it was a lot. Could we review?
What a great idea, caller. Let's review what we've learned today. First, we learned about jaundice of the newborn. Jaundice, or hyperbilirubinemia, is a buildup of bilirubin in the blood. Bilirubin is a byproduct of the breakdown of red blood cells. Infants with delayed cord clamping or bruising at birth can be at higher risk for jaundice, but all newborns may develop jaundice. The number 1 preventative and treatment measure that you can take is to breastfeed early and often. Infants with higher levels of bilirubin may require extra help. This can come in the form of topping up with expressed breast milk or formula, or spending some time under the phototherapy lights that help excrete the bilirubin through the skin. But what about those moms faced with flat nipples that have difficulty breastfeeding? We discussed 3 options. First, nipple stimulation can help to erect the nipple in a way that allows the infant to latch easier. A nipple shield can be used, which applies light suction to pull the nipple forward and creates a larger surface area for the infant to latch onto. Thirdly, a breast pump can be used for several minutes, where again the suction pulls the nipple forward. Then the pump can be removed and the infant can be latched to the breast. These are 3 ways that moms can overcome flat nipples and effectively breastfeed their infants to protect them against jaundice. Now's the time you've all been waiting for. It's time for a quiz. Question 1. True or false? All newborns are at risk for jaundice, but some are at higher risk than others. Question 2. Multiple choice. To check for jaundice in the newborn, you should A. Look at the color of their lips. B. Listen to how much they cry. C. Look at the color of their skin, the whites of their eyes, and pay attention to how difficult they are to wake. And D. Assess how ticklish they are. And question 3. Short answer. Take the knowledge you've learned today and describe 3 ways that you can overcome the challenge of flat nipples. Thanks for taking the time to learn with me today on Breast is Best. After today, you should know all about jaundice of the newborn and how to breastfeed effectively with flat nipples. Thanks. See you again. This has been Ashley with jaundice and flat nipples. Oh, Ashley with